It's Doug Wilson. I'm with the Verizon Partner Program, and I'm here with Mark Savage from Kika Enterprises. Mark, you introduce yourself?
Sure. Hey, I'm Mark from Kika. I'm the Vice President of Sales for Kika Enterprises.
And today we're going to talk about the Internet of Things. Last night, if you were here and you saw the consumer Internet of Things, you saw a presentation by the Managing Director from Polaris e-bikes. Today we're going to talk about how that partnership came to play and how we added the Internet of Things to this exciting solution out here from Polaris, and exactly what we're doing with the tracking solution that we're doing with Polaris. So as soon as we get the presentation up, we'll talk about it. All right, so when we talk about machine-to-machine solutions in the Internet of Things, a lot of things happen out there today, and you see a lot of different companies and relationships and products are out here today. But one of the things that we like to talk about is how we partner together with other partners. So part of the part of our program, our valued and our very award-winning Verizon program, is actually to find those newest and greatest Internet of Things that are out there today. And really to bring them to market and help those companies bring them to market. Well, when we do this, we want to make sure that we're finding those kinds of relationships that can really bring new things. So customized for specific applications. And how do we get there? Through the type of connectivity that Verizon can provide to that solution that's out there today. So we look at new opportunities, new marketplaces. We engaged with Kika, and Kika is actually, Mark will explain exactly what Kika does, but they've been in this market for a while and have decided to emerge into the machine-to-machine part of it and already had a relationship specifically with Polaris. So, Mark, talk about Kika.
Sure. So a little bit about Kika Enterprises. We've been in business for 10 years, and we focus on a niche in the market. We focus solely on the secondary market for which are like refurbished air cards. So everything that's a USB modem, a MiFi hotspot, module, router. And what we really did is we went up and we bought all the used up product. So as people continually were upgrading their technology, we went and bought all those, prior model like 3G USB modems and MiFis and things like that. And what we found was there was a need for customers, especially in the machine-to-machine space, that they started maybe working on a solution a couple of years ago, and they maybe when they tested or built their solution, they used a Verizon 760 because of the form factor, the size, things like that. Well, now maybe fast forward a couple of years, and now their solution's really taking off and starting to do well, and they want to pick up more of these Verizon 760s. Now they're coming to their Verizon rep and saying, hey, now I'm ready to roll this thing out, but they can offer the new 4G LTE modems, but maybe the form factor is a different size, or maybe it just has a different firmware that doesn't work with the router or technology that they've chosen. So what we provide to the market is a place where they can come and find all of that type of hardware. We buy it up, we stock it, we clean it up, it looks perfect, like new refurbished. So we kind of built that niche in the space. Now we handle everything from tablets to smartphones to, you name it. And from dealing in the business with all these machine-to-machine accounts, we started saying, hey, we really want to figure out a way to get a hold of this connectivity, to start to get some of that business and actually to have a solution of our own. That's what kind of started our relationship talking with Doug.
Right. So when we first sat down and talked about it, so what happened is that Kika is actually a master distributor for Polaris, and you had a relationship with Polaris and also with Helio Castroneves, so that became a big part of it. So one of the things that happened is we sat down and we put our brains together and said, hey, let's try and find a solution that we can have. And so immediately what came to mind is, hey, look at these bikes. Look at this wonderful new solution that Polaris has put out, these e-bikes. So these e-bikes that are out there cost anywhere between $2,500 and $4,000. Right. So what happens if you lose this bike? Or again, from a consumer standpoint. But then we started also thinking about what about the businesses out there? Think about the police departments, and you think about people that might use them for security agencies. Want to be able to track them and know where they are. So we immediately thought, hey, there's an opportunity here to put machine-to-machine or Internet of Things inside of an e-bike. So we started talking about it, and we actually talked about another partner that we have in Delray Beach, Florida, called InventureTrack. So as we look at the, why don't you talk about the e-bike a little bit and about that solution and how we got there?
Yeah. So, I mean, I just want to say real quickly, too, that, I mean, Doug and I talked for probably a good year or more, and Kika trying to get into the space, and we had a few ideas, but we couldn't maybe make it fit completely. And it wasn't until, we were talking about e-bikes, and Doug mentioned, hey, I have this a partner in Venture Track, that they're really good at making this technology. These guys are really flexible. They own their own plastics molding factory. So once he kind of bridged the gap there and put us in touch with another partner in Venture Track, and we brought in Polaris and our and Elio Castroneves kind of having some sponsorship behind it, we got to work right away of basically trying to figure out how we can put an asset tracker and tracking solutions into this e-bike. So first of all, just for everyone who doesn't know what an electric bike is, so obviously you all know what a regular bicycle is, right? Well, if you see on the back here, what this is it's basically an electric motor, and so it's tons of copper and things like that. It takes a while to make, but what happens is as you start to pedal on your bike, basically you have gears, so you can shift it just like a car, just like you're driving a 6-shift car and you're in first, second, third, what have you. As you start to pedal this bike, you can use the gears, and it will give you pedal assistance. So these bikes, they have different models, but some of the models can go anywhere from 20 up to 28 miles per hour. So you can really get a good bit of speed on here. And the asset tracker itself that we put in these bikes has a 6-month battery life. So you're going to get a lot of life out of the asset tracker. But it has things from, let's say you're a dealer, and we actually we opened our first Polaris e-bike store right here in Miami. You can go and check out the bikes. You can ride them, rent them by the hour, day, what have you. So from a dealer or someone renting bikes, we have features like a geofence. So obviously GPS tracking, they can see the breadcrumb trail of where the bike is at all times, but they could also set up like a geofence perimeter. So let's say someone's renting a bike and these are expensive bikes, they want to keep track of them. They can set up a perimeter, say maybe a 3 to 5 mile radius, and hey, if that bike leaves that perimeter, the shop can get an alert. Hey, this bike's kind of going out of range. It's getting out of area. Some things like that, so they can kind of keep track of the bike. We also have built-in like crash sensors. So if the bike were to crash, we can get an alert, so we can know, hey, maybe someone's renting the bike. They need assistance. We can get out there and help them out. So these are solutions that, as we're here, the Internet of Things, we're talking about machine-to-machine. These are applications that they can be used by fleet management to large corporations, but we've also packaged it into a bike that can be used, like any consumer could have this. If you're a parent, you have a child, and you want to kind of keep track of their riding, you could use a bike like this. If you're police or something like that, and you want to know where your officers are at all time on patrol, you can use something like this as well. So I think what we're excited about is the fact that this is not only a consumer product, but it also can be used by a fleet and business as well.
Right, so as you look at the tracker, this is the actual tracker that we have from Venture Track, and they're mounting inside of the bicycle itself, tying it in with the battery. So again, that 6-month battery life is going to be extended, but as you charge the battery inside the e-bike, it's actually also charged the battery that's inside of this asset tracking device. So as Mark was saying, we've added a lot of features that weren't there before. So it works for the consumer that's buying the bike in offering the tracking solution. It offers a new solution for Kika to be able to go out and offer this tracking solution to their customers that are out there today. So when it talks about the world of M2M and Internet of Things, obviously this is a new approach to it by adding a solution like the Internet of Things tracking solution to something that's a consumer-based product that could be a business-based product for public safety and other solutions that are out there.
Yeah, and this is actually something we've actually been working with some of the partners we met at the show in Orlando. So now we've actually been working with some of the Verizon partners that specialize in the cameras. So we're working on our next evolution. We're going to have cameras on the bikes. So what's kind of nice is now that we're in this program and we keep meeting other partners, we keep adding extra features to the bike. So going to specialize in cameras, we're going to add a really cool 720 like HD camera and things like that. So that it's pretty wild, the fact that we just keep adding and adding to this bike.
So again, it's all about bringing the Internet of Things together, and that's what part of our program does at Verizon, our partnership program. It's not just about going out and finding the new solutions out there today, but bringing in partners like Kika, InventureTrack, IC Real-Time that's bringing the camera to the solution, and who knows what could be next as far as what we're bringing to the marketplace. So that's all we have today. Do we lose Carl? Carl? There we go. He's got to pick up his microphone.
You took my mic, remember?
Oh, that's right, we took it, but now you have one.
Now
so
I've got one, yeah. They gave me a spare one. So are there questions from the audience? Oh, come on. First of all, give them a round of applause. Okay, now, do we know the price of this bike and when can I get it raffled off at my shows?
Yeah, there you go.
The bikes, like you can go to the Players e-bike website and it'll have all the models and all the pricing. This bike right here, Ricardo, how much is this bike? This bike here goes for around $4,000. It's obviously our souped-up bike for the show.
Excellent. So we'll figure out some sort of a deal to get it raffled off.
So you can raffle off.
But yeah, if you're having sales incentives, you want to have a contest, you can raffle off an e-bike. Give us a call. We're happy to give you a bike at cost with the tracking service. You can use it as an incentive.
There we go. Okay.
Great.
Any other questions?
We're good?
What a quiet crowd. Oh, wait.
More questions?
Hi. This is for Kika. Is your business model the hardware? Is it recurring revenue? What's your business model for this?
Well, it's actually a bit of everything. I mean, in this, we're distributors for Polaris e-bikes, which is kind of how that kind of got started. So, but now when we sell this with the connectivity, we're obviously going to be owning those connections as well. So we're not only on our core business, which is kind of our air cards, hotspots, tablets, smartphones, where that business is still going very well, but we'll be adding this connectivity piece. So the e-bike is the start. But I mean, if you look at this, this is the tracking device right here. We actually have, for some of our opportunities, we just put a magnet on here. So we went, actually, Ricardo, our CEO, is over here. He went up to Polaris, and they were doing demonstrations for all their other types of vehicles, right? They have, their Raptors and, other like kind of off-road, snowmobiles, you name it. I mean, literally, they were told us that they've been wanting to have a tracking solution like this, but they couldn't figure out how to do it. And Ricardo has this with a magnet. He's like, oh, here you go. Slaps it on, and they go out and take a ride, and like they were amazed. So for Kika, the answer to your question is we're going to be both hardware, and we're going to own the connectivity on this.
Okay. Now we want the audience.
Joe Parisi, come here.
Are you working? Are you exclusively partnered with Verizon?
I mean, I guess we don't have an exclusive agreement with Verizon, but
yes, you do. Wait a minute.
But we chose to work with Verizon because we've done a lot of business with them on our core side, right? And looking at the data connectivity and things like that, we wanted to we started with the carrier that has the best connectivity. So we started with Verizon and Doug.
Good answer, Mark. That was good.
How do you provide customer care for these devices? Do I have to bring the bike into a service center, or do you have over-the-air capabilities?
Well, what we're doing with the bikes for now, to make it very simple, is every single Polaris e-bike that will be sold for 2015 on, it's going to already have the tracking device included, and a year of connectivity is included in the purchase of the bike. So we're building this out for anyone who buys the bike, especially now. They're not going to have to install it themselves. It's already going to be. We're going to be installing it as we ship them to the dealers. So when you're able to buy it from the dealer, we've worked out with Verizon a way that we can actually do the over-the-air programming to get these connected. So you buy the bike, you have the service. We can set you up with the portal, and then obviously if there's something specific that you might need, or maybe to adjust or whatnot, we'll have it. You can go back to the dealer you bought it from, and we'll give them tools to service it.
Yeah. And since we had a couple minutes
yes.
here, and Carl,
why don't you bring Joe up for?
Yeah, we'll bring up Joe. Joe Parisi is actually the president of InventureTrack, and he was the one that actually designed the tracking solution. So I wanted to give an opportunity to talk about InventureTrack and the actual solution you have, Joe.
Oh, thank you, Doug. Can everyone? Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm Joe from InventureTrack. We actually We developed the entire tracking system from ground up. Thank you. So we developed two things. We saw a couple different opportunities in the market for asset tracking. One of them being the remote assets. We need to figure out a way to track them, but the problem is battery life. So we put a lot of effort into developing the circuitry and the power management, some technology around the batteries to get a long life battery solution for remote assets. So what we came up with when we finalized all of our development is this device here, which is a 6-month, 4 reports a day device, and this is our rechargeable platform. So you could hook it up to a tethered power source, and it will trickle charge the device, or it'll stand alone. And as Mark had mentioned, you could put a magnet to it, and it's a slap and track solution that you could leave out in the field for 6 months. Now the device is completely robust. The entire system is built off of the platform where we have 4 analog inputs, 4 digital inputs, and 6 outputs. So all these verticals that are around and that everybody's looking at, this device combined with the back-end platform will be able to service each and every one of those. And with our ability to customize the device so quickly and easily, we can get demos for those verticals very quickly to help close those business opportunities.
Right, and part of the other side of the business is the Plastomol business that you have, that where you can actually customize this to any shape and size pretty much that they want out there.
Exactly. So we have a manufacturing facility in Delray Beach, Florida. This device is 100% made in the USA. So we do all the plastic injection molds, we do all of the development. We can make it green, yellow, purple, red, whatever you want. So that's all done right here in, just a little bit north of here, actually, in Delray Beach, Florida.
I just want to add, too, I mean, when we started this, from the time that Doug put us in touch with InventureTrack, I want to say it was no more than about 2 months until Joe and his team had pretty much worked out the form factor to get this fitted for the electric bike. So, I don't know, in our world of machine to machine, where a lot of times things take a long time to put together, and we're based right here in Fort Lauderdale as well. So being close, I think, helped. But I mean, they were able to just do reiteration after reiteration of the device to get the form factor to the size we needed. I mean, really, these changes were going on like daily. So it was pretty impressive.
Exactly. Well, this is such a great opportunity to work with. Being able to use the battery-powered bike and to trickle charge the device when it's on and when it's on the charger. I mean, it's a great product, and it was a great merge together with that. Thanks.
That's what we do at Verizon. We bring partners together.
Yep.
So
excellent. Give them all a round of applause.